G'day, Paul from Rotec here. Just thought I'd share this. So this poor chap in Germany, Claus R2800, good customer. He's been flying an R2800 for quite some time. He unfortunately had an accident and a prop strike. And you can see here, I'll just spin this lathe up. Now, I've only got this chucked in the three-jaw chuck, but you'll see it's pretty obvious it's bent. So you can see it's quite true here. Like, you know, where it's chucked quite true, but you can see the flange. Right, so it's had a good whack. So I've pressed out all these dowels and put them into a new flange. Rebuilt his gearbox. The planetary gears were all pulled apart and checked for cracks and crack tested, and it's all been put back together. The engine was rebuilt completely because one of the things that can happen on a severe prop strike like that is you can get the crankshaft can twist. It's clamped. The crankshaft has a rear. I might have an example of that. Yeah, I do. So the crankshaft on the 2800 has a clamped rear end on it like that, you see, and there's a plug that goes in there, plugs off the hollow crank pin. And if you hit the prop, this is all if you hit the prop hard enough, you can actually spin that, you can twist it. Takes a lot of force to do it, but it can happen. So to be absolutely certain, and you won't be able to tell because it's hard to tell with the friction of the engine whether or not you've got a crank that's, you know, got a bit of a twist in it, and because it's in a gearbox, behind a gearbox, you can't sort of tell. But anyway, so the whole engine came apart, and was all cleaned up and double checked, and all the seals and bearings changed. I've also updated the in here. I've changed the entire intake ring, which has got the O-ring seals on it. It doesn't have any gaskets or glue. It's dry, so that's a better setup. Also, I upgraded his intake fan. Seals, bearings were replaced. Cylinders were honed. Everything checked. All the heads done. And the gearbox all put back together with a new flange. And so she's ready to fire up. Now this engine turns over beautifully. I'm working with one hand here. I mean, you can tell it's done a lot of time. It's got a lot of good compression. I love building these old engines because they're already run in. You know, they're very smooth and they're free as a bird. So I expect this will fire straight up. Now, Claus didn't supply us with a starter motor, so we've got one of our own starter motors on here for the moment, just so we can fire it up. Didn't have an exhaust system, but I've just got our exhaust stubs on it. That'll be fine for the test run. Normally we run like an exhaust system straight out the back wall there, but in this instance this will be fine for this run. And what else? Yeah, and he didn't supply a carburetor, so I've just got a Mark 1 TBI here that we just use for testing. When we have to run an engine, we just generally throw that on there, so that'll be fine. Anyway, she's all set to go. Let's fire it up for the first time. It hasn't run. Let's see what happens.